Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. The Ultimate Book of Mind Maps by Tony Buzan presents mind mapping as a practical, visual method for thinking, learning, planning, and communicating. Buzan, widely associated with popularizing the technique, frames mind maps as a way to work with the brain rather than against it by combining keywords, branching structure, color, and imagery. Instead of linear notes that can hide relationships between ideas, the book emphasizes building a central theme and expanding outward so patterns and priorities become easier to see. Readers can expect guidance on how to create clearer maps, avoid common mistakes, and adapt the approach to real needs such as studying, writing, problem-solving, meetings, goal setting, and creative work. The tone is action-oriented, encouraging experimentation and personal style while still applying consistent principles. Overall, it positions mind mapping as a versatile skill that can reduce overwhelm, strengthen recall, and make complex projects more manageable through better structure and association. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, core principles of effective mind mapping. A major focus of the book is the foundation of what makes a mind map work, beyond simply drawing branches. The method typically starts with a clear central topic, then expands into main branches that represent the biggest categories, and finally into smaller twigs for details. This structure supports both overview and depth, helping readers see the whole landscape while also tracking important specifics. The emphasis on single keywords rather than long sentences is presented as a way to keep the map flexible and associative, allowing ideas to connect in multiple directions. Visual elements are not treated as decoration but as memory and attention tools. Color can separate categories and highlight priorities, while images and symbols can make abstract concepts more concrete and easier to recall. The book also highlights legibility and spatial organization, so the map stays usable as it grows. In practice, these principles encourage faster capture of ideas, clearer relationships, and better recall than dense paragraphs of notes. By learning the basics well, readers can apply mind maps across many tasks without turning the technique into messy doodling or rigid templates that defeat its purpose. Secondly, learning and memory, studying, revision, and note-taking. The book presents mind maps as a study and revision strategy designed to improve understanding and retention. Instead of copying large blocks of text, a mind map pushes the learner to process information, extract key ideas, and arrange them into meaningful groups. That act of organizing becomes part of learning because it forces prioritization and reveals gaps in understanding. For lecture notes, the approach can help capture main points quickly while leaving space to add supporting details later. For reading, mapping chapters or articles can turn passive scanning into active comprehension by translating information into a personalized structure. When it comes to revision, the compact overview of a mind map can make it easier to revisit a whole topic in minutes, spot the links between themes, and recall examples tied to each branch. Visual cues, such as color coding, icons for definitions or formulas, and small sketches can further strengthen memory. The emphasis is not on artistic ability, but on creating distinctive anchors. Used consistently, mind maps can reduce time spent rereading and make exam preparation more efficient by focusing attention on relationships, not just isolated facts. Thirdly, creativity and problem-solving through association. Another key theme is using mind maps to generate ideas and solve problems by encouraging association. Linear brainstorming can stall because it pushes the mind down one path at a time, while a branching map invites parallel thinking. By placing a challenge in the center and expanding into causes, constraints, stakeholders, options, and outcomes, readers can explore multiple angles without losing track. The method also supports divergent thinking, where unusual connections are welcomed before judging them. Adding images, humor, and bold keywords can make the map more stimulating, which can help break habitual patterns. The book positions mind mapping as a bridge between free-form creativity and structured evaluation. After generating ideas, branches can be reorganized into clusters, ranked, or turned into action steps. This makes the technique useful not only for artistic creativity, but also for practical problems such as improving a process, designing a product, or resolving a conflict. Because the map shows relationships visually, it can reveal leverage points and root causes that are easy to miss in a list. The overall promise is a repeatable way to think more broadly, then narrow toward workable solutions. Fourthly, planning, productivity, and goal setting with visual structure. The book also explores mind maps as a planning tool for individuals who want clearer priorities and less overwhelm. A plan often fails when tasks are captured in scattered lists without context. Mind mapping can start with a goal at the center and expand into resources, milestones, risks, deadlines, and next actions, creating a single-page overview of what needs to happen and why. This can be applied to projects at work, personal life changes, travel, events, or long-term career planning. The branching format supports both big-picture thinking and granular task capture, letting the reader zoom in on one branch while keeping sight of overall direction. The method can also improve decision-making by mapping options and comparing trade-offs. Because mind maps are editable, they work well for iterative planning as circumstances change. The book's approach encourages active engagement, reviewing the map, updating branches, and using visual markers to indicate urgency or importance. Over time, this can build a habit of structured thinking that reduces procrastination, improves follow-through, and helps people communicate their plans more clearly to others. Lastly, communication, writing, and presentations, a practical application emphasized in the book, is using mind maps to prepare written work and presentations. Many people struggle with starting because they try to write in perfect order. A mind map allows ideas to be collected quickly without worrying about sequence, which can reduce friction and increase momentum. Once the content is mapped, the writer can see natural groupings that become sections, paragraphs, and supporting points. This helps avoid repetition, missing arguments, or weak transitions because the relationships are visible. For presentations, mapping can clarify the core message and supporting evidence while keeping the narrative focused. Branches can be arranged to match the audience's needs, and visual icons can indicate stories, data, or calls to action. The result is often a more coherent structure than a slide deck built from isolated bullet points. Mind maps can also support meetings and team discussions by capturing contributions in real time, making agreements and open questions easy to track. In this sense, the technique becomes a shared language for organizing information, improving clarity and alignment across participants. In conclusion, this book is best suited to students, professionals, educators, and lifelong learners who want a practical thinking tool that works across many situations. If you feel overloaded by notes, to-do lists, or complex projects, the mind mapping method can provide a clearer way to capture information, connect ideas, and decide what matters most. The potential benefit is not only better organization, but also better learning and recall, because the process encourages active processing, association, and meaningful structure rather than passive copying. It can also help creativity by making brainstorming more expansive while still allowing you to refine ideas into plans and deliverables. Compared to many productivity or study books that focus on a single niche, the Ultimate Book of Mind Maps aims for breadth, showing how one technique can support studying, problem-solving, planning, writing, and communication. That versatility can make it a stronger purchase than books that offer narrow templates or rigid systems. If you want a method you can adapt to your own goals and style, and one that can be used on paper or translated to digital tools, this book offers a recognizable framework and a strong case for why visual associative thinking can improve everyday performance. If you would like to support Tony Buzan, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.